Hello and welcome to France 24's weekly music show. Our guest this week broke into the world of DJing and clubbing when she was just a teenager. At the time, she would play around with software and upload her music to the platform SoundCloud while DJing ballrooms in Amsterdam. Her airy vocals and blasé flow on ever-shifting pop-orientated electronica struck a chord with clubbers. In the space of 6 years, she released a number of EPs and has just dropped Mosquito, a deep bass and tempo-varied mixtape on prestigious electronic label Ninja Tunes. Lyzza da Silva, aka Lyzza, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure having you. Now, you are Brazilian, but you live in the Netherlands, and obviously the presidential elections took place this weekend in Brazil, with Lula gaining close to 51% of the vote. How does it feel?
I am so happy that Lula got reelected. I think it's a really great step for just kind of like trying to go towards a level of equality within Brazil, and obviously LGBTQ plus rights, just indigenous rights. I'm just very excited to see what he can do in this new presidency.
And now you're 23 and you moved to the Netherlands a decade ago.
Right.
What was that like, that shift?
It was quite a culture clash. Obviously, Europe is different than South America, but I'm just so happy that my mom made this choice for us, because I feel like it just really opened a whole new world of possibilities for me. And obviously, being able to make music, I feel like that's not really a thing that's as accessible to just Brazilian or people from the third world. And I'm really happy that now I kind of, with Mosquito, have had a possibility to kind of bridge that gap between the global South and Europe.
And now Brazil is such a huge country, geographically speaking, but also it's a melting pot culturally, and your music is quite a melting pot itself. You chose to call your mixtape Mosquito, which is not everyone's favourite little beastie flying around.
Yeah.
Why did you go for that
name?
name?
I thought it was just quite a nice representation of just how I was feeling at the moment, just like how I kind of felt like I was this kind of annoying little presence in the music industry, but that a lot of people were quite like, I don't know, I was like just still at the same time like taking up quite a lot of space. And I then realized that a lot of people just feel quite misunderstood in their day-to-day life, like outside of identity, outside of gender, sexuality. And I was like, wow, I think everyone kind of feels like a mosquito sometimes in a room, and I kind of wanted to find a way to communicate within those differences. And I think just kind of finding like a muse in this like unlikely insect was just like a really great way of me being able to do that.
Well, how about we check out one of the tracks, Deserve It, featuring Spanish trap artist Zoe. Great track there. Now, you sing in English and Spanish and Portuguese. Do you have any particular relationship with each language? And if so, can you tell us more?
Well, obviously, I was born in Brazil, so Portuguese is my first language. And then English, I think, is just such a great way of communicating with people because it's such a widely spoken language. And then Spanish has been something that, from also just touring with Zoe quite a bit, and then it's kind of in between, I feel both. It's kind of like this level that sits between, I think a lot of English-speaking people know and understand Spanish or have been around it for quite a while. So I think being able to kind of connect to Brazilian and the Portuguese, like Spanish, like a really nice kind of in-between way. But I think it's just quite nice being able to communicate with people in different languages, and I feel like you kind of tap into different people by also facilitating like that use of language within your music.
Now, you've name-checked Nicki Minaj as one of your inspirations for the way she bridges rap, electronic dance music, also pop. What was it that made her a pioneer in your eyes?
I don't know. I think she's just so iconic in the way that she just really tried to push against boundaries. And I think a lot of, at the time, a lot of Black women were kind of being pushed into a certain genre, and Nicki Minaj just really came through with this like pop, electronic album, and was working with David Guetta and like doing all these crazy videos. And I think it just really opened up a lot of possibilities for like Black women within music to realize that they don't necessarily have to stick only to rap or R&B or soul, but that there's like this whole world of possibilities that we can like tap into. And I think like even looking around to this day, there's so many Black women in electronic music, but also rap that just really kind of cite Nicki Minaj as such like an inspiration. So.
And I want to talk about your image as well, like notably on the cover of your album. Tell us what drew you to having this position of you're kind of walking on yourself, because I imagine it's your feet on it with the long nails.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea?
I actually did it together with this collective, Limitrophe Television, who's like a collective that I'm really close to. With Ananchas Dromos, P. Ferreira, Scopetta Shepherd. And we just kind of like thought about this idea of, you know, kind of killing this uncomfortability within yourself, and kind of like, I guess this is like the next step of me like kind of killing this idea that maybe I take up too much space, or maybe killing this idea that I'm this annoying insect. And now I guess it's like on to the next step of like stepping closer to myself and kind of letting go this Mosquito mentality.
Yeah, no. And it's really fun that you were able to reconnect with this record back to Brazil, you know, and filming videos there. What's up next for you?
What's up next? I'm working on a really cool exposition with Gabriel Masson, who's like a 3D artist. We're working on a video game,
wow.
which I'm really excited about. I think within my work, I really try to kind of create new worlds for people, to kind of create new narratives, and try to like bring forward new voices within art and music. And I think a video game is such a nice kind of like step to really creating this new world. And then I have some new music coming out with Big Data, my label. And then I'm touring currently. I'm going to be in Toulouse on the 26th of November. And then in London on the 15th of December. So yeah.
Definitely want to check you out live.
Yeah, I would love for you to come.
Yeah. Well, how about we check out some other new releases, and we're going to start off with the queen of R&B pop, Rihanna. She's back. Her last album dates back to 2016, and at the weekend she dropped a new track called Lift Me Up, which will feature on the soundtrack of the Marvel franchise film Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Let's take a look at her new video. That was a new Rihanna track there. Lyzza, what did you think of it?
I think it's quite beautiful. Like, I think it's obviously a soundtrack song. It's a soundtrack single, so it's accompanying a movie. And I think it's quite nice to see someone like Rihanna kind of bridging this or traversing this space of soundtracks. I feel like usually you see the Adeles, the Billie Eilishes, and we have such an idea of Rihanna kind of being in this like wilder side of things that it's quite refreshing to me to see her bridging this or trying this out.
Yeah, no, cool.
Yeah.
Well, now this week's opened also with Halloween, and other than the dress I'm wearing, here's a little nod to what is initially a Northern European pagan celebration. Multinational collective OBF Sound System, whose members stem from France, the UK, Spain, Jamaica, Argentina, and have been around for 20 years, are releasing a new record called Lava. Here's one of their tracks featuring Sir Wilson. It's called Vampire Dance.
Took a look around and I was so shocked. The eyes them red and them teeth them longer. A beer blood dripping from a vampire tongue. It was a vampire dance. It was a vampire dance. I me say wanted to run, but I didn't have that chance. I wanted to escape, but I didn't have that chance. It was a vampire
and will be touring extensively around France. Lyzza, what did you think? Is there anywhere you'd like to play in the world, and what do you think of that as well?
That was groovy. I would love to play in South America. I've never really toured there, and I mean, I was quite removed from South America just from emigrating to Europe, and I feel like I kind of slowly want to find my way back. So I hope to do like a South American tour quite soon.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this week. Lyzza, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Don't forget to check out her new mixtape, Mosquito. And if you're near Toulouse, she'll be playing the Girls Don't Cry Festival at the end of November. And remember, you can also follow all our culture news on our website. That's france24.com. And of course, our social media at Encore F24. France 24's latest news bulletin is coming up in just a few minutes, which gives us enough time to play out with French band Phoenix. They're releasing their 7th studio album, Alpha Zulu, this week. Here's their new track. It's called Winter Solstice.
Girls swing hula hoop under the malicious winter solstice. Turn the lights on, find me a narrative, something positive. This record I've played a few times before. I heard it once, so I'm not sure on the phone. I told you, why open your eyes, go good or bad. Drive straight to the ocean and see where we won't find out. Even the ride should be heading loved ones.
Versailles, Mont Saint-Michel, the Louvre are well-known stars of French heritage. But French genius and France harbours many other hidden treasures. The arts, gastronomy, architecture, as well as nature's wonders. Come along with France 24. Discover France's living heritage. From young apprentices to accomplished craftsmen and farmers, to Michelin star sporting chefs. Meet these people whose passion for their professions preserve and drive French heritage.
You are here on France 24 and France24.com.
La médina de Tripoli veut dire beaucoup pour les habitants.
Bienvenidos a las noticias de France 24.
Thanks very much for joining us. And
أهلا بكم في ثقافة في عدد اليوم.
Ravi de vous retrouver pour Afrique Hebdo. Au programme cette semaine.
نسمع بين فينا ولا آخر.
this storm has hit New York City a lot.
To be a president. 3, 2, 1.
Madagascar fait face à une seconde vague meurtrière.
Almost 99 million of you watch us every week. So thank you.
Shukran.
Gracias. Your confidence means a lot to us.
Muchas gracias.
شكرا على هذه الثقة.
Thank you.
Merci du fond de mon cœur.
Liberté, égalité, actualité.